Hope everybody is ready. I sure am, as ready as I can be. I am going to be pondering things with you today that I want to get sorted out. I want to get all this stuff. I want to start to evolve what we're doing here on the Casual Fridays streams, because I'm starting to see a lot of how do I say this kindly? And I want to make sure you guys are hearing this or hearing me. So let me see if we got some signs of life, and make sure I prepared everything here. My TV is not lit up, so that's good. Hi, Tacos. I'm always worried I left my TV on. It's an OLED, so you get that burn in. I don't want that burning. It is on technically, but the screen is off. I have the screen turned off, so no burning. Oh boy, it's kind of warm in here. Wonder if that's gonna be an issue. Let's put this fan on me more. Okay, so I've been pondering and pondering. Last night, I don't know. I'm one of those people that when they lay down to go to sleep, they either fall asleep like really quickly, which is rare, or they can't stop. I can't stop thinking. I can't stop thinking about things, like troubleshooting things, figuring out things. If I get a message like late at night that says, "Hey, you need to do here's a responsibility for you. This is something you have to take care of." I can't sleep until I like have a good idea of taking care of it. And I've done a lot of things to try and calm my mind. It's a good and a bad thing, okay? The good thing about it is that I problem solve. I figure out a lot of things when I lay down to go to sleep. The bad thing is I problem solve while I'm trying to sleep. So sometimes I don't fall asleep right away. I get in bed at like 11:30. No, I get in bed around 12. Between 11:30 and 12. I try to go to bed around the same time every night. That does help. But last night I got some an email about some documentation that I have to do, and so that was fun. So I got all the documentation together, and I'm ready to do it. So it's not a big. I have months to get it done, but that's always fun. And then, but I was laying down, and for some reason I started thinking about Casual Friday-ness. And it's Casual Fridays, the channel reviews mostly, and I was like, this could be better. This needs to be better. This needs to be a lot better. Me too. This is my work outfit. Oh man, I wear casual clothes to work, I guess. How is this not diffused enough? I need more diffusion cloth, I guess. What light is it? Is it this one? It's this one. Oh boy. Yeah. So I want to improve upon Casual Fridays. I feel like it's lacking. And I think the thing that it lacks the most is not our discussions, not the chats we've had about streaming, all that. That's all very good. Hello, everybody, by the way. Hi, Pickles and Tacos and Over. The biggest thing that's lacking for me with Casual Fridays has been the channel reviews. They're good. I think they're helpful insofar as you take the actions that are recommended to you and or figure out ways to solve the problems, the weaknesses that I discuss about your channel and your stream. But what I'm noticing is there's like a distinct, I want to say this nicely so I've done a handful of channel reviews at this point, and there seems to be a lack of follow-up on the advice. No, I haven't done yours yet, Ober, so give me a break. I can't wait. I'm just gonna shave all of this off and be done with it. So tired of this beard thing. I feel like I am missing the mark a little bit with helping you guys execute. And I feel like we're glossing over too many things that will, so I feel like I give you a giant list of things to do to improve your channel, improve your stream. And that list is too big or something. It's too many things for you to really grasp conceptually why you need to do those things. It's not about that. Because I bring up a lot of things. Perm says you can't be responsible for everyone's effort, though. How about you give us some homework a month? No. I can't. So I'm going through my thought process so I can tell you how the conclusion I came to and why. I feel like the channel reviews are they're a step in the right direction. They're correct in one way, in that it helps you guys figure out what's weak about your channel specifically, and it gives you feedback directly about your channel. But I feel like there's a deeper value because the same problems keep reoccurring on every channel that I review. Whether it's panels, camera position, microphone, audio balance, lighting. It's the same stuff, different stream. Game selection, talking to chat, being a streamer. I feel like it would benefit more people for me to host a more in-depth discussion and talk and an instructional, informational workshop covering each aspect of streaming so that you guys can better conceptualize how to approach the problem and find a solution. Instead of just saying, well, your panels are weak, maybe you should X, Y, Z. It'd be better for you to understand what the strength of good panels is and how to expand upon that strength. What tools are at your disposal for strengthening your panels, instead of me just glossing over it quickly and saying you could improve here. Okay, you could improve there. You could improve there. It's not really deep enough for you to really understand and for everyone to grasp why it's important to change it. I think that's part of the problem here. I've given people advice on things to do that take like 30 seconds to fix, and they haven't done it. Some people have. Yeah, and that's why I feel like there needs to be a deeper dive into each thing, because there's like literally no excuse for you to have bad panels. The only excuse is you don't know why you should have good panels. That's okay, and it's not an excuse. That's the reason your panels are bad. The other reason is you're just completely lazy and you're not taking the time to fix something that takes 5 minutes or an hour of your time, and it's done. You're done. You can be done. You can leave your panels that way literally for years and not worry about it. Same thing with your camera, the camera settings and position. It's a thought process to approach these things. I want to help you guys see why it's weak to just smack things together and move and think you're done and move on. You can't. That's why I want to do workshops on this stuff, Dan, because there are actually, and welcome by the way, and Gwen, and Perm. Hi guys. There's deeper reasoning behind all of this for the decision making. Basically, if you can't control the layout, what you have to do is understand the limitations your lack of control are putting you in, so that you can make good decisions within those limitations. This is what an artist is. An artist isn't about having all the tools, every color of paint. Artists are good at art because of limitation. If you hand an artist a piece of paper and a pencil, and that's what they have to work with, they can make good art without complaining that they don't have paint brushes or paint. It's about using the limitations that you're provided to create something that does work, that is successful. So I feel like if we have these, so here's my plan. Rather than going and having these channel reviews, which I know are probably helpful, and maybe we can do like a channel review style thing. I think you would all more benefit from just having more, maybe a one-on-one discussion about your stream with me, so you can have somebody to bounce ideas off of and discuss your current issues with. That might be a good idea, instead of me going through and just saying that, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. More personalized discussion about your goals and your stream, and then a group discussion with you, and we could kind of help focus on that stuff. So what I want to do, I think that's fine for YouTube. I'm gonna try and host. I'm aiming for twice a month. Okay, so maybe a bi-weekly workshop. So my goal is to take the first hour and a half of this Casual Friday stream and turn it into something that can be watched later by you guys if you're can't do it live and you can't be a part of the workshop, and give you a more direct deep dive on how to think and approach your channel, your branding, your cameras, your lighting, your lack of lighting, your budget, your microphones, your planning around your stream content. Because I think as a streamer, it's more powerful to walk away with knowing why you need to do something than just being told you need to do something. Without knowing why, it's kind of useless. And I feel like too much of the channel review content is just a big list of here's where you need to improve. If you don't know why you need to do that, then I feel like you're not going to take it as seriously as you should. And if I could spend an hour convincing you, no, Oliver, you shouldn't wait for the new version. I'm actually going to kind of do that with you today anyway, because I've already reviewed your channel with you in the other ways anyway, so you're getting the new version. Spoiler. Like I need to go over all that stuff with you? Yeah. I don't need to. So I want to move this thing. So yeah, you're fine. We're already headed that direction. So I want to make sure these workshops are well prepared, and we cover the things, at least the basics. I've got the YouTube videos that I'm trying to do to help you generally kind of do this anyway, but those are more like shorter, digestible 10-minute videos, around 5 to 10-minute videos to help you change some settings to get one thing fixed. I think to complement that, what I need to do is content around the why of the rest of your channel, your settings, your stream content. Why the encoder settings should be a certain way. How to think about these things. The questions you should be asking yourself about your OBS settings, how you should think about your panels, because there's no cookie cutter answer to this. There's probably a lot of good answers. So what we need is the right questions and the right approach to thinking about this stuff on a much deeper level. I'm gonna move this over because Game Boy Advance games are wider. Yeah, that's the other thing. Ober, you've already made a lot of the improvements that I've discussed with other people, and I was a little frustrated. I would do these channel reviews. I've done a few of them. I haven't done a lot, so it's not hard to figure this stuff out. But I'm doing these channel reviews with people, and I'm going and watching their stream, and I see the people who make an effort in some of the places that I've discussed, but they're still not making an effort in probably the more like it's weird. Like some people will make the effort in the wrong place, or they'll change some of the stuff that I said to change, and then they'll change stuff that they shouldn't have touched, like their encoder bitrate or their frame resolution. And I'm like, whoa. I'm streaming at 1080p right now. If you're streaming games, you should not be streaming at 1080p. I'm streaming at 1080p because we're not streaming games on this channel. This is a chatting channel. The encoder there's so much less changing in the frame that the encoder doesn't have to work on. So if you understand how the encoder works, you can make these kinds of decisions for how you set up your stream. If you're doing a chatting stream like this and you don't plan on doing any gaming, 1080p, it can be done. If you're streaming games, Sekiro, Dark Souls, any game, if you're streaming games, you should not be streaming at 1080p. And you can get away with it with the right processor and settings. So if you and you have a good upload, but you're going to sacrifice some quality. So it's better for you to understand why it's better to do 720p. 720p is always going to look better than 1080p at 600 bitrate with the current limitations of the encoders in Twitch. Even at the best settings. If you compare a 720p 6000 proper settings, and you bump that to 1080p and use the exact same settings, you're going to notice a quality drop. Resolution doesn't dictate the quality. That is not where the quality comes from. It increases sharpness if you can match the appropriate bit rate to the frame resolution and the frame rate. Yes. So I want to be able to explain this stuff to you guys in a deeper setting. Hello, Doc, by the way. I'm very late saying hello if you guys notice. Gwen, going back to what you were saying about finding people at different viewership levels, that's going to happen naturally just by the nature of this situation. This is all brand new. I've only been doing this for a couple of months. It's not. I don't expect like all 180-ish people in the IQ Discord to know that this is even happening. A lot of people don't even pay attention to the IQ Discord on a regular enough basis. It takes them months to check in. Even though with the we're live pings and all that stuff, it's not likely for everybody to understand that they can even have their channel reviewed and all of that stuff. So I'm thinking about doing bi-weekly, at least once a month for the workshops. Hopefully bi-weekly, and then every other week we can have a deep dive on your stream. And then still have those after the workshop, like Q&A discussions about things, about streaming, and then we can invite people in to have a conversation and try to focus in on the things that might help you grow your channel and grow your stream and overcome whatever difficulties you guys are having. So okay, so that's out of the way. I want this stuff to be highly valuable as well long term. The channel reviews, if we go in this other direction, I can take the workshops and put them on YouTube, and then when new people join IQ, they can go and visit these workshops to kind of dive deeper on these topics themselves. So it gives it kind of more of an evergreen situation. We can build up the database on the website with more content around different things. So I think this is the right way, the right direction to go. And I'm just not satisfied with the results, the one-to-one results of channel review to execution of the streamer. And I think the reason is that we're just glossing over too many things too quickly. And I might as well just be telling you to clean your room for the most part. You know, a lot of the stuff I'm telling you guys is stuff you can figure out if you just watch your own stream and go look at enough other streams that are doing well and say, oh, well, look at that. This person's panels are really, I like this person's panels. They're really good. Why do I like this person's panels? So without further ado, I'd like to bring Oberlinks. We're going to be doing the new style for him, and the reason is I've already gone over a lot of the nitty gritty with him about his channel and things that he's need to improve already. We've done like an off stream channel review in some sense. The things Ober needs to work on is a lot different. So Ober, mute the stream right now. I'm gonna unmute Discord and we can chat. Are you there? You are mute.
There we go.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good. Do I sound okay?
You sound fine. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me screen share. You know what? I don't even need to screen share. I'm just going to show, because we're not going to really listen to your stream or anything. On the
probably for the best.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You know, you've already done a lot of things I suggested with you've simplified your panels down. You've got a more cohesive thing going on. And obviously, you should make those two panels kind of fit with your theme if you can, and switch them over. But
sadly, Gung Ho won't let me modify it any further.
Do it anyway. Do it anyway. I don't like brands who are that controlling. Discord's not even that controlling.
Yeah, they're sensitive.
Twitter's not even that controlling. They're like, if you're gonna use it, here's the logo, and don't cover it. Like, it's, whatever.
Yeah.
This is good. I like people who are don't fill out the about section and let the autofill happen. That's what you're doing here, right?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, autofill's good. I feel like a deeper about needs to be like a blog or a website or something like that, or Twitter post.
I always had the mindset that, you know, it's gonna autofill and just fill the games that I'm playing at the time.
I like it. I like that. This is a good place for an about section, obviously. Yo, what's up, Sai? And this is a good place for not filling anything, because letting the Twitch autofill it just is so nice, because it just gives people an immediate snapshot of what you've been streaming. So, you know, your banner's good, your panels are fine. You know, we don't need to go over. This is why we don't need to go over most of your stuff. You've got a nice little profile icon. If I look at your stream, your camera's good. You've got an SM7B, which is, you know, $300
Overkill.
overpriced. Your stream quality's fine. You're using overlays and backgrounds. Like, this is why we don't need to go to what we need to talk about. What you and I need to talk about is what happened with your stream, and you need a plan. You need a plan to get out of your situation.
Yeah, I need a plan.
And you need. Okay, we're gonna talk about all this stuff. So that's the short and the skinny about your channel. Your situation is different than most people, and we talked about it a little bit before because you've been on the show a few times in previous broadcasts, and you've told us. So, but we're gonna go over all of it again. We're gonna get it fresh. You're creative enough that you're going to play with your stream a lot. You're going to figure out things that do work and don't work as much as possible. So,
yeah, I mean, I do. I'm constantly experimenting with stuff.
Right, I know. Bots. So much to the point where you and I have had lots of discussions over bots. And we finally found common ground. We finally found common ground. And the debate isn't over $5 a month.
Not over $5 a month. I'm so happy with that thing. I'm not done with it, but yeah, it's so hilarious. It ended the debate.
Was it? It's funny because there shouldn't have been a debate in the first place. But Deepbot versus the world. All right,
Yeah,
so let's quickly. This is where things get complicated and where things get a little messy, because your situation, I think, actually will help a lot of people. Here's the thing. How many viewers do you have right now? Average.
Probably. Average.
We look at
probably
Solino? 10?
yeah, if you want to. 10 to 20, I would say. I mean, obviously, if it's lit, it's probably going to be 20 plus, but...
Okay. How many viewers did you average when you were doing at your best?
Best? Like when? Like non-lit?
When you
or
felt
lit?
like things were going really well, your average
When-
viewership.
When I was doing really well, like as in, like, man, I felt like every stream wasn't a failure. I think I was like pulling in 40. I was okay with 40,
Okay.
and because I mean, we've talked about it before. I've had hundreds of people watching me and dropped it down.
So
But I was still okay with 40.
you suffered from what most people would consider game lock, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things for us to cover about your stream. And rather than not covering things too quickly or covering too many things, I'd rather just kind of narrow in on the stuff that's hurting you the most or hurt you the most.
Yeah. That sounds fair.
So, I'm seeing on Sully Gnome for the past 90 days, you have an average of 13 viewers, which is a bit higher than you estimated.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about your situation, and then I want to relate what your situation has been like, and is currently like, to where some people in IQ are actually at. And it's not really about the viewership; it's about growth and community. And so, I think a lot of people can actually benefit from the same kind of advice that you need, because first of all, most of us are going to end up where you were at, and we're going to have the same risks that you had that kind of put you in this situation. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. That's definitely fair to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the main game you were streaming was Let It Die, right?
Yes.
and
Correct.
you became like a core person in that community. And so, what happened with that stream, or with that
Uh,
game, the category?
well, what happened was the game stopped. They stopped producing massive amounts of content. They kind of just stretched it as far as you could stretch it, and so like the community kind of dwindled out.
What do you
And
think actually
then
happened though? Like, why did the what happened?
what happened with the game? I
Yeah.
on it like I think the devs just dropped it. Like they just dropped the ball. I mean, I've looked into the background of the game, and what happened was the core team and the main developer kind of got in a little bit of a spit, and they split up. And I think that's when the content stopped like being mass produced. And then they just changed directions on what kind of game they want to do. And I think they spent the last 3 years developing a new game because it's coming out next year. So, like, I mean, that's ultimately what happened with it. It got a shit start though. Like a lot of people crapped on the game for no reason because they were trying to treat it like a Souls like. It's not a Souls like. It has Souls mechanics, but it's specifically designed to troll Souls players.
Okay,
So if
so
you
this
go
is
in,
too much. Like,
yeah,
so
I know.
the basics here
Yeah.
are, you started streaming a new game and became seated as somewhat of the streamer of the community of that game.
Yes, yes,
And you started having a relationship with the developers, and you were kind of well known in that space. But the space itself was volatile because the game fell apart, the community fell apart,
yeah,
all of that, right?
yeah.
Is that a quick and dirty summary?
Yeah, that's a pretty good quick summary of it.
Okay.
It's hard. Yeah, it's a magnitude of things, but yeah,
A lot of things happened, and this is the problem with choosing a game, is there's a lot of things that can go wrong. It can seem like things are working, and then the game community falls apart, or the devs fall apart, or some kind of drama. This is kind of the risk of seating yourself in one situation where things are working. So, is it fair to say that the reason things fell apart for your stream is because things fell apart for that community?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty close. I mean, there was some. I had quite a amount of people that would still, when I played other games, it would. But I mean, it's a smaller percentage, obviously, than what I had before.
How much
Like,
were
if
you
I-
streaming other games when you were streaming Let It Die at its peak?
at its peak? I would do like, because man, I was like insanely like streaming that game like crazy, like 6 days a week, and I would probably play, a different game maybe once or twice a month.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
might have been your main issue, is that you went too deep on one thing.
Yeah, I
And
think
on something that's not, you have no control over,
correct.
which is where the danger lies, because you put all your eggs into one basket, so to speak.
Yes.
And that basket was dropped.
It
So
was
you
dropped,
broke all
kicked,
your
and burned.
eggs. Yeah. Yeah, I this is kind of a thing. It can also be a benefit if the game never goes toxic and everything is going well, and that's like a luck situation. So
Yeah, absolutely.
one of the things that you should have done, or could have done, it's not the only way to do it, but the way I suggest people do things is they take at least one day a week for variety on purpose, or some similar style of semi-variety. So like, play through every Resident Evil game or every Final Fantasy game. Take your time with it, and do your best to try to transition your viewership from your core audience to the variety content. Drag people over there. Give them reasons to be there. Whatever that has to be, whatever you can think of that can help facilitate that kind of thing. I think if you had been doing that, your numbers though they would have still dropped, and you still would have had to work hard to replace your situation that disappeared, you would have a higher base viewership with the transition away from Let It Die. Do you think that that's true?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would have probably at least slowed the descent in of the viewership.
And this is a skill too. This is not something that everybody's going to be good at. It's something where every streamer needs to kind of learn how to move their audience. That between what they're doing when they find you, and other things that you're going to do on your stream, and you don't want them to be so disconnected that it's probably a very bad idea to stream a bunch of Dark Souls and then turn on your stream suddenly doing, I don't know, Terraria or something like something completely Minecraft, Roblox, something like in that vein, all of a sudden. And then the next week, you're doing, who knows, retro gaming, and then next week you're doing art. If you're all over the place, people are gonna have a hard time remembering why they even liked you in the first place.
Yeah.
So this needs to be kind of incorporated in your long-term plan for how to move forward. So you need an aspect of transition, and you need to be able to do that well. The only people that don't need to worry about this are the people that are massive and have been on the platform forever, because the reasons people watch them are different from the reasons people will watch anyone else. And nobody's going to get like brought into that group unless they have overnight success for some crazy reason. And even still, that crazy reason needs to persist throughout the stream enough that people are reminded of that's why they're there. That's why they like you.
Right.
And a lot of people will say, well, I'm the personality. My stream, people will follow because of me. But that's not true. People will stay and follow you to the next game because of you. But you have to give people a chance to get to know you. You have to give people a chance to figure out that they should be following you to the next thing. You have to give people a deeper connection. Hanging out with them, talking to them, creating relationships with your viewers is the best way and the easiest way to honestly do it. A lot of people will just play the game, and they won't foster their community. So where are you at? I've watched enough of your stream, but I want you to answer this question, and then I'll kind of give you my perspective afterwards. But what do you feel like your stream is like? Do you feel like viewers are connecting with Ober, the person, the streamer, over time, and how does that work for you?
I kind of feel like, because a lot of my viewerships are from very long, but yeah, retention on new people isn't as great as it used to be. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong.
That's a hard thing to admit. So
that's always why I'm always like experimenting with stuff and doing stuff. But the problem is sometimes I don't really stick with something too long to know if it's working or not. But with me, if something doesn't work within the first couple of times I do it, then I drop it. So I don't know.
This is why a plan is so important. One of the most important things you can do is figure out why you're doing something and your goals with what you're doing. So it sounds like you're not doing that. To me, it sounds like you're mostly turning on your stream, trying the way you're trying to meet new people is by streaming. It's through game selection, which needs to obviously be taken into account. But hey, Paulie, what you're doing is the equivalent of an experiment, right? You're just like, I'm going to try this. If that doesn't work, then I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to try this. And that doesn't work. I'm not going to do that anymore. The thing is, your experiment doesn't have enough variables in it. And it doesn't have enough of a goal in it. If the goal is just to meet new people through a game, that's probably not going to work that well. So the way to overcome this, the way to think about it, is to figure out where you can live. Like and this is why Let It Die was working. Let's say Let It Die didn't go fall apart as a community. Why do you think the stream was working?
Well, I think because I have that game like so far pat down that I don't even have to think about playing that game, and could be really interactive in the chat, and like, once you hit that 2,000 hours, I mean, I got 5,600 hours in the game now, but once you hit that point where I can background the game no matter what and talk about anything.
So what do you think people were enjoying about your stream?
Honestly, I felt like a lot of people were just enjoying the stream because I died a lot and I was slightly entertaining about it. So, and I would like tear the game apart and go find like stuff in the game that a lot of people didn't know about, and like typos and stuff like that. So, like, I think that was part of it. You know.
Okay. So was there anything special that you were doing that maybe created a hype or excitement around your stream?
I mean, yeah, we would we did quite a lot of gambling. People love to watch people gamble, and there's a gambling mechanic in the game.
Okay.
So throwing a bunch of money at dumb stuff on the internet, I think that's what Twitch was designed for. That does play a role in it as well.
Okay. So you seated yourself in the community as someone to watch, and I'm trying to figure out, from your perspective at least, what was working about why would people come in to watch that. And it sounds like it's because you had some level of attachment to what you were doing on your stream, which was beyond I'm just playing a game. So what aspects? Could dig into that more.
Well, I mean, a lot of it was we had the community managers would show up in my stream once a week. I mean, I'm obviously on their website, on the official website for the game. So, like, people would go there from there. And so there's, like, a lot of different social platforms that kind of point to my stream anyway for that particular game. And being quasi-official, unofficial stream for the game, especially since the developers dropped streaming the game. They kind of just dropped it on me. So, like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, like I said, I have a complicated history with that game.
Okay. So if you were to look at what you were doing objectively and were to try to replicate the stuff was working for you and make it into like a plan. Let me describe what I think works and what I think was working for you.
Okay.
So the thing that really helps is seating yourself as sort of an authority figure in the community. It helps you to stand out by being... The devs were helping here a lot because they were putting that on you, kind of making you the go-to person for their streaming their game, like you're saying. So
Yeah.
that gives you a sense to the viewers and to new people immediately what they're stepping into, what they're watching, because you're like an authority figure, so to speak. You have this sense of responsibility for the community, connection to the devs. The community managers are in your chat enough that that's going to help. So an actionable plan to approach something like this would be, you'd have to try to figure this out for any other game category. So let's say the plan can't really be I'm going to turn game on and see if it works.
Yeah.
You see how different that is from, oh, I'm going to become an authority figure in community.
Yeah.
You're kind of lucky because you already have people. When Let It Die 2 comes out, people are going to remember you.
Yeah.
So you have a chance here to make Let It Die 2, but history could repeat itself.
Yeah.
The community could fall apart.
There's a lot, right? Like a lot in my back of my mind because they're changing the gameplay. I think they're making it a BR.
Oof. Are you happy with this decision?
You mean a third-person hack and slash to a third-person BR? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to translate.
Well, I mean, that's a better response than I hate battle royales. I'm never going to play that. So
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to
you're-
stream that game. I've already asked for early access to it, so it's
okay.
yeah. I'm not denying it. I won't even tell people. I'm like, I'm not going to judge until I see the game.
That's a good attitude. I'm somewhat concerned that the community will go the same direction, and you'll be.
Yeah.
So this is why you need a good plan. You've already got a game in mind, Let It Die 2. That's why you've been streaming Let It Die some more, right? To try and pick that back up.
Yeah, they've got a few. Yeah, it's me trying to like stir people up, and it's also like, they've got some events that I actually support that they're not trying to just cash cow people. So like I've been trying to be more and more active in it. I mean, I never left the community. It's just I stopped streaming the game because like it was becoming more work for me to make it interesting on my part for the stream. Like,
I get that.
so like I was like, this isn't paying out. Like I know these guys love to watch me play this game, but it's taking me 2.5 to 4 hours to get where I can get in the game to where I can have fun, and I feel like everybody's enjoying it. That first 2 to 4 hours was complete misery for me, and that can come off on the stream, and I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
like
that's a danger with any game that you're streaming too much. You can feel like just over it, just like
yeah. That's why I never stopped playing the game, but I stopped streaming the game because it's just like I can't. It's just too much work to make it interesting for me. I
Yeah.
mean, those people, maybe they would enjoy me doing that first 2 to 4 hours, but I would be completely dying inside to do those first 2 to 4 hours.
That's a long
And
time.
it's
That's a whole stream already.
It is. It literally is. Like, they did this big community goal and they want me to go up to the top of the tower. And that's literally going to be a month of content. Like, literally, all my streams for a whole month are going to be me climbing the tower for a month. Like, no joke.
Yeah. So creating a deeper value around your approach and to what you're doing. So well, let's actually step back real quick. I want to talk more about the leadership authority type of figure in the community. If you're always going to give yourself the best chance if you're willing to take on responsibility within the community of the game that you're deciding to focus on to make your stream.
Right.
So there's two aspects here. We have to talk about these two things. I think these are the two things we should focus on. The first thing is obviously, becoming that authoritative voice and figure, someone people look up to, the influence of this space, having an actual influence. The second thing is the transition of that content to other content, so you're not all eggs one basket again. Right?
Right.
So those are the
Yeah.
two things I want to focus on for you today. Now, that was pretty long. Like, we just took like half an hour to get there, but I really wanted to dig in and get there as naturally as possible, so that you can see why these are important and everybody else can understand why this is actually really important. My biggest concern is the transitory situation. I think you're going to be pretty well set in the authoritative section
Yeah.
of this discussion, because you've already done it once. You've already provided value once in this manner. But I still think the discussion is important for the greater IQ community and any other streamers who are watching this that aren't in IQ, that want to figure out a plan for their own game, their own community, and how to do this. And then also, if you have a better understanding of what it is that you're doing and how it's going to work and why it's going to work, that can also help you too, instead of you just hoping, right?
Right.
So the first measurable thing that you need to aim for is actually it's an internal process. It's the mental preparation for who you're going to be in this community. And so it's like accepting that you're taking on the role. So you need to see yourself, whatever game category you guys decide to stream in. With Ober, it's going to be Let It Die 2. And that community, he's not just going, in order to make it work for him, he's not going to just turn the game on and stream it. He's going to offer a deeper value to that community. And some of that is he's connected to the devs. Now, that's not something that's readily available to everybody, although you could try to develop a relationship with developers of some games. It's easier with smaller games and indie games to do that. To present yourself as somebody that the devs could be working with or speaking to or talking to. A lot of the developers would rather work with somebody that they feel like they can trust and will handle their content well, more than they're looking for somebody who's just big and could possibly toxic or dangerous to their brand. So there's no risk in you trying to approach the developers, especially if you have a plan, especially if you're going to see yourself as willing to seat yourself in this community. Obviously, the game is going to be much harder to do it if you choose to do something like Nintendo games. Good luck, right? You're not going to get a hold of Nintendo.
Nintendo's not happening.
But there are developers for Nintendo, or people who work for those developers, those publishers, that might be more likely to actually communicate with you. So there are avenues here. You don't want to aim for the head. Sometimes you just need to aim for somebody that is actually obtainable in this kind of relationship. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's funny because there's a lot of things about streaming that make streaming successful that have nothing to do with the stream itself.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I want you've already got a relationship with the devs, so you're fine there. That's good. You're setting yourself up for success, and that a new game is coming out. As long as that game doesn't suck and everybody hates it, you'll be okay, right?
I think so. I think it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. I think they're going to do the same thing they did with Let It Die and let Sony do all the marketing for it for a couple of years. And so it's going to be pretty well popular. I mean, when it came out, it was the front page of Twitch.
So what's your plan?
For a while. What's my plan? Man, I just hope they give it to me early so I can at least play it before.
That's not a plan.
I know. What
What kind of responsibility would you like to take on? How do you get on that top row? How do you get that number one slot in that category? How do you become that number one streamer, and why? What is your offer?
I'm gonna hopefully offer all the back lore that they're using for that game.
No, that's
And
not
knowledge.
enough. That's good, but it's not. That's not what I'm
knowledge of the
talking
game.
about. Okay,
Oh.
so let's get into like some executables here. Okay,
Okay.
this is more about your relationship to your viewers. Okay, and why they're coming to your stream.
Okay.
You need to give them reasons beyond. I watch streamer play game. Streamer funny. Streamer die a lot. Okay. If this, yeah, that could be anybody. So if this is going to be a battle royale, like you're expecting it to be, what are some things that you think you could do, or maybe I should just give them to you, things that you could do that would offer a greater value to that community itself. The Let It Die gaming community. What is your stream going to offer that community that would get them to be seated as your viewers, in your viewership? How about something like a tournament?
Yeah.
Challenge runs.
Challenge runs.
Fun,
Yeah,
stupid, like seriously, like stupid community events. If it's a battle royale, you could try to get everybody to queue up at the same time and get in the same server, and like only use one type of weapon, or you see what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No. Yeah. That reminds me. Like, I remember doing a couple years ago. We did a lot of community events. I ran a lot of those.
fists only. Fists only tournament. I don't know if there's melee weapons only tournament. Kill ranking, like, tally up your kills. Whoever gets the most kills in an hour. Prize pool is contact devs for prize. Here, get the devs to sponsor this stuff.
Right.
Whether it's freaking just stickers, or
Yeah.
an in-game code, something, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's where your relationship with the devs could actually benefit you here. But the point of this is to say you're now offering a deeper reason for people to attach themselves to your community, because you are the authority figure that is organizing a thing that people want to be a part of. You see that?
Yeah.
You can do this with literally the majority of games on Twitch. This is possible. It's possible, especially if they're multiplayer games. There is so much you can do to make this work. Even if they're single player games, you develop a speed running race between non-speed runners, people who've never speed run. Like, just it doesn't matter how good it is or how good the people are. What matters is it's fun, it's eventful, it's something for people to look forward to.
Yeah.
And you're organizing it. That's what matters. Do you see how that seats you as a figure to be at a deeper level within the community?
Absolutely.
And do you feel like you want that responsibility?
I mean, I feel like I can definitely pull it off, because as you're saying this, I remember doing this stuff years ago.
So you were doing this.
I was doing this years ago. Yeah.
This is what was working, and you probably didn't even realize it.
I didn't even realize it. Like,
Yeah. If you're going to farm a community, a game, playing the game is not enough. It's never going to be enough anymore. If you want to stand out, you're going to have to become a deeper, more authoritative figure in that space, and give yourself a reason to stand out. People try to fake it with they think it's actually kind of true, while at the same time being like incredibly toxic and wrong, because it backfires. There's bad ways to do this. People try to set themselves up as a false authority in a space by doing crazy giveaways, right? And unless you're a philanthropist and you have like millions of dollars and giving away $1,000 here and $500 there, and you know, throwing money at people. That's the only way this ever really works. It's not going to work for you to give away a PlayStation 5 every month, right?
No.
That's toxic. If you want to, like, I want to give people a PlayStation 5. Like, I want to do that. But doing it on Twitch is dangerous. And because you're going to farm the wrong kind of viewers, people lurking just for points or trying to game the system to get the free PlayStation. And you don't want to do that. There has to be a deeper value in what you're doing. And so it's very easy to see how this stuff can work if it's done right, but it's also will backfire on you if you try to do it through some kind of really simple mechanism like I'm giving away a Nintendo Switch every month. That works once you're at a certain level, and it's okay to just, it's not, you're not farming fake viewers. It doesn't matter if 30 extra people show up and like farm for the Switch that you're giving away. Because you have 300 or 400 people watching no matter what you're doing, then you can start to go into that kind of realm and it's a little safer. But if you're a 10, 20 viewer person, you're going to inflate your viewership temporarily and then lose it as soon as you stop doing the giveaways, especially if it's not sustainable. I watched a guy years ago give away ridiculous consoles, and he grew his stream to like 50, 75 viewers, but it was all bots. It was all people farming points for the giveaways. And he's just losing money every single time giving away this stuff. And then as soon as he stopped doing the giveaways or changed how they operated, his viewership dropped. You're not going to manufacture value in that way. That's not an authoritative thing. Anybody can go and buy a thing and give it away as like a trying to bait and switch you into being a viewer. Like, it's not going to work. Don't do it. But if you can do something more unique, like work with the devs to get stuff that's more rarely given away and less likely to be farmed by people, general viewers who are just going to disappear, but actually benefit the community directly, like a game code, in-game items, that kind of stuff. That then you're good, right? Even like PlayStation Network gift card. Is this going to be on PC or are you playing it on PSN again?
This will be a PC, or I mean a
PlayStation.
It'll be a PlayStation. Yeah, it's a PlayStation exclusive for a little while at least.
Okay. So I think this is like you've got a lot of opportunity here, but you need a deeper plan. And maybe you should start talking to the devs about this now. You know, like shoot them an email or whatever message, and whoever you talk to, and be like, I really want to like make this game and this launch work for you guys. I want to stream it a lot, and I'd like to help people get into the game, and I'd like to, you know, give back to the community. Is there anything that we could organize, events, you know, maybe have some things to give away? Can you guys help me with that? Like, just start the conversation, you know?
Yeah. I definitely need to start talking to Troy, actually.
Yeah.
I opened it up, and I already told him to put me in because I'm in the official dev Discord, and they're always talking about stuff for different games and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I just need to be a little bit more proactive. I figured because it's still pretty far away. I don't know when it's going to arrive, but it's going to be next year sometime. So
okay.
I mean, it's coming up, but I definitely need to start talking to them a little bit more often because I want to kind of get in front of it because it would be good to get it either. I mean, I'm hoping early access or something of that nature, and get myself kind of established right away in it.
Yeah.
But I'm also hoping in the back of mind, like you said, that the game does not completely suck.
Right. This is the other section, right? It's not going to suck. I don't think it's going to suck. I think you have a pretty good chance, but you do have a chance for it to die,
Yes.
which is ironic because it's called Let It Die. Um, so let's talk about the transition of that community to you, the streamer, doing other things.
Yes.
How would you want to approach this? First of all, like, what is your greater plan for your stream? Why do people watch your stream beyond you being the authoritative figure in this other community? Does that make sense? Am I asking the right question?
You're asking the right question. I don't know the answer because I still don't know.
Okay. Okay, well, let's talk about mechanisms for transferring viewers. First of all, you're always going to have difficulty with transitioning viewers. And there's always going to be a drop when you go from core content to variety, other different content, right?
Right.
Always. You're always going to have an issue. And it's very rare that you're not going to drop in viewership. So the first thing you kind of have to mentally prepare yourself for is viewers don't matter when I switch. They do. It's like a balance between they do matter and they don't matter. But what matters is you're seeing the same viewers coming from your other content to this more other different content that you're doing. And that you do it regularly enough, scheduled. And it's not so strange every time you do. What's happening over there isn't so random. You don't want to go week to week and do something completely different. If it's cooking, it's always got to be cooking. Right?
Right. Absolutely.
If it's music, it's always got to be music. If it's whatever it is, there needs to be consistency to it. If it's a variety game, it can't be so variety that it's Mario Kart one week, then Resident Evil the next week, then Metroid the next week, and it can't be like that. It needs to be brandable and communicatable enough that it's not a surprise every week. Right?
Okay. All right.
So what you need to do is have a long-term plan for this other stream, and you need to take people on a journey on that. So Variety Fridays, whatever it is, Final Fantasy Friday, and you need to play through every Final Fantasy game, because the point of that stream at this point is not to meet new viewers. It's to take your current community and transition them into that base viewership that will watch you do anything.
Right.
That's the point. So the game doesn't really matter, but it can't be so strange that it's unexpected. You need to create consistency for your viewers so that when they know on Friday you're streaming Resident Evil, and when you beat Resident Evil, you're going to go to Resident Evil 2, and when you beat Resident Evil 2, you're going to Resident Evil 3. And when you beat Resident Evil 3, you're going to Resident Evil 4. Do you see how there's a consistency there?
Yeah.
It's easier to brand. It's easier to market. I hate these terms for this. It's easier to communicate because you can tell people where you've been and what you're doing next. And it's all very connected in a very simple way. And the whole mechanism of it is, hey, viewer who watches me play Let It Die, watch me play Resident Evil. Why? Because you're going to want to watch me play BioShock in the future, right? That's really the reason.
Right.
And then once you get to a certain, this is how you have to handle things at an early level. Then once your Friday streams are at a really good viewership, once your variety content is at a really good viewership level, then you can start to kind of scooch and add a day of that kind of variety, and scooch and add a day of that kind of variety. And now you're down into 1 day a week of Let It Die, and you're doing all this other stuff. You see that?
Yeah.
That's you need a transit. The other thing is you can't expect people to know that this is happening. That and to come on Friday. They're gonna see that you're not streaming Let It Die 2, and they're just not gonna show up. They're gonna go watch Let It Die 2. So you also need to create value that's deeper to that other thing, the Friday thing. Friday is also the Friday thing. You can kind of like double dip, triple dip on this content too, because you could use it to make YouTube content. You could use it to make other stuff, because if the game is less important and it's just about the transition, you could take like 30 minutes out of the stream and make a YouTube video or something. It's no big deal, right?
Yeah.
Use your intro time to record some content for YouTube. Okay, so does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it does.
So what do you think your plan might be for variety content? Like what could you stand playing through?
Well, I'm still working through all the Dark Souls stuff, which was kind of leaning into the way that Let It Die was played anyway, because I'd never played Bloodborne or any of those other games. So
You still
I've
haven't?
been working. No, I'm still working my way through. I've still got Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, and I think that's it. Yeah, those two. I'm almost done with Dark Souls 2.
Okay.
That I've been working my way through.
All right.
Might go back to Bloodborne though, because I missed some bosses. But
So yeah, you want a long-term plan to seed into this position, and something that's easy for you to share about what you're doing. You can you earn the right to break free from this kind of system by growing your stream to a certain level, basically, right? You're
Right.
not stuck doing all of this forever. This is just the mechanism to free you from doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just turned my earbuds down with my butt. Okay, so I don't know. I think I hit it all pretty much at this point. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable enough approaching these two aspects for your stream moving forward, and then maybe I can open this up to the rest of IQ if anybody wants to come join us and kind of talk about this concept. If you guys have any questions or you want to have some input in voice, now's the time. Join IQ Live. Come and talk to us about these things. Maybe where you're struggling in your own stream. I don't know. Ober, you have. I'm gonna say this in the chat too, because people. How did that happen? I can't type today. Okay. So. Where do we go from here, Ober?
Wherever you want. This is your bus. I'm riding
I don't
on
know.
it.
I mean, I feel like we hit a lot of this stuff already. I just want to make sure that the general. It's very hard. Like, a lot of people don't want to do the first thing that we talked about, which is pick a game and farm and be a leader in that community. They want their stream itself to be like this assertive
authority from nowhere. Yeah.
Just as a streamer, right?
As a streamer, right?
Just like,
I mean, to be fair, it took years for me to actually be an authoritative figure and Let It Die. I mean, yeah, I streamed it all the time, but like I was like also on their Reddit and social media pages helping people out, and just people were following me from that kind of authority. And then one day they literally said, "You're mod now of the Reddit and the Discord." And here I am, because
Yeah,
this
tell
is
us
the way
about that
it is.
journey. Actually, how did you go? How'd you go from? Was it just like because of your viewership, or
Well,
what came first? Viewers?
well, it's kind of weird because originally on Let It Die, after the Souls players gave up on it, and it was Fortnite had come out, it was off the front page of Twitch, and the Twitch community went down to almost basically zero viewership.
Mhm.
And it was kind of funny because it was me and two other people that would always like stream the game or be in the chat together. And what happened was
Oh,
we
let's talk about
rebuilt
that.
it.
Hold on, I want to hit on something you just said before you finish your story, because this is actually important.
Yeah.
You were always in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was either watching the game, being an active member in like somebody's that was streaming it and talking to them and being a part of that, just helping people out in general.
This is actually a good point. So this is a key aspect of
Yeah.
being
And
an
that's why
authority figure. You have to be present.
yeah, absolutely. Like, and that's what I'm saying. We went from having two to three viewers in the Twitch community to growing to like having multiple people, and we went from 0 to 10 viewers in the whole category of Let It Die to having hundreds of viewers in the category, because everybody was helping each other out. Like, it was being rebuilt from the fall down from the front page. And so like, and I was on the Reddit helping people out, and then collected a bunch of data from thousands of players to make a spreadsheet and put that out, like, for players, because the game is overly complicated. It's got mechanics within mechanics within mechanics. Like, honestly, you can't do a blind run of that game. Like, a lot of people try to blind run that game, and like the community is so helpful because they know you can't blind run the game. And this is really apparent because I'm doing the game again for the third time with Wooter's dad. And like, he's like, "Why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me this?" And I'm like, "You got to learn some of this stuff because it's like mechanics within mechanics." And I was like, "I'll tell you, but you're not going to learn it until you actually do it." And we've been getting better with being with that. But that's part of the reason. And then that's how I got, I like to call shoved into an authoritative figure, because basically I was constantly always asking and answering questions for people, even though it was the same stuff, different viewership. So as the viewership was growing in the Twitch category, so was my stream. And, and everybody was friendly. So
Yeah,
it's just a very unique story.
being active is so important.
It really is on it. And like, it sucks, like, being active in general on any Twitch page, because like, honestly, like, me being active in one of my favorite partnered streamers streams, he's rated me like 3 or 4 times with hundreds and hundreds of viewers. And I mean, yeah, they drop off pretty quick, but then again, like, there's a pretty good portion that just sit there and watch anyway because they knew me from me just talking shit in his chat.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that's a very successful marketing tactic, but for me, like, that was some of the best times and moments in my stream is when he would raid me with 1,000+ viewers,
Mhm.
So, and that's part of it. Like, part of my stream was I was just an authoritative figure for Let It Die. And I got there just because, honestly, the only reason I started streaming was because I wanted to record my gameplay and figure out what I was doing wrong in the game because it was so vicious. And then people started talking to me. Like, I completely ignored the chat on the right, because I didn't even know that was a thing. And I'm just directly streaming it. And then, like, we're talking like 6-8 months later, I'm doing midnight streams when they do the patches to update to release stuff. And I've got 200 viewers watching me off my PS4. Like, and we're just checking the game up and everything. So it was a wild ride, man. I honestly, like, I don't think I would love to be that successful again. Now that there's monetization that Twitch didn't have those years ago, but I mean, I still say I was a successful streamer. I did the thing, I'm not now. I like to meme about it, but I can probably do it again. I'm sure.
I mean, if you approach it right, I think you can. You got the opportunity.
Yeah, I've got the opportunity. I'm gonna try it again, and hopefully I'll be able to ride it a little bit better this time, and understand what's going on, and maybe retain some viewership and stuff after the initial wave. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be interesting, and I am gonna open up. You just pointed that out. I've been thinking about talking to Troy more and more about it, but I'll talk to him.
You
and
have to. You got to
open that
picture
up.
yourself as that authority in that space for this to work. You have to be willing to. The first step is accepting that authoritative figure that you're going to be, which means you're going to be talking to these people all the time,
Right.
and you're going to be organizing things with them,
Definitely.
and you have to. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You're just going to be dude playing video games. Now, how do you stand out as dude playing video games? It's not really possible.
No, it's not.
It's then you're just down to luck because you have no extra reason.
No, there's no niche there. There's no nothing like that there.
And that means that everybody else who's streaming as dude playing video game or person playing video game, then those viewers have every reason to leave your stream and go watch other person playing video game.
Yeah.
There's right, like there's no deeper thing, and you being funny or fun or good looking or ugly or whatever it is that you put value in yourself as a streamer as a reason for people to watch. That stuff. There's other people that are good looking, ugly, talented, funny. There's plenty of people like that.
It's true.
Again, how do you stand out? You gotta have a deeper value.
You gotta be that. Yeah. You gotta be that.
You gotta be the voice. You gotta be the reason. You gotta be that person, the person in the space, and that means you're already in a good position to make this happen because you can talk to the devs already, and people in that community.
Absolutely. And yeah, I always tell people CMs are they're usually pretty marketable people in general on any game. I mean, obviously, large games are going to probably ignore you most of the time, but indie games and stuff like that, they're going to be very active.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of good to become authoritative. I'm not the only one because there's someone else in IQ that's Mr. Authoritative for a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did he do it? He just marketed himself as that.
He just marketed himself as that, and he ran with it.
He just sold himself as that.
Yep, he just sold himself and went with it. I can appreciate it. Like sometimes
That's the hustle.
That is. I get kind of jealous because I was like, man, I wish that would have kind of. His game is growing, and his devs are still working on his game a little bit more active than ours.
Well, the new one just came out, so.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to try it again. I just hope I can stand the gameplay. That's my biggest concern. Like, it's like, man, I'm being set up. I'm probably going to get my hands on this thing. But to be fair, they're probably going to give their hands. If they do an early release, they're going to give it out to a lot of people. Because there is some pretty big dogs that streamed Let It Die. It's a Sony exclusive. So,
yeah.
Like, Sony's putting their marketing weight behind it. And so, I don't know.
Well, let's talk about the fatigue issue. Like you're worried that you can't stand the game. If you can refocus your motivation, you can do anything. You'll be able to, the game won't matter.
Right.
So this ties back in with the leadership thing in the community. Fostering, you want to foster relationships through your stream with viewers. You want to get to know people. You want to be glad that they showed up again. You want to say hello to them. You want to see how they're doing. You want to, connect with your viewers as much as possible. And you want to make the stream less about the game and more about that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how bad the game is or the movie is if you have a good person to watch it with,
It's true.
right? Or play the
Yeah.
game with. And so if you're
Play the
playing
game.
if you're playing a game that you can't stand, then you have to find a reason to be there otherwise, which is to be the leadership position. You think I totally love just like getting on stream and talking about streaming all the time and discussing like improving streams and stuff? I do this. My motivation isn't to feel good about and to get all sweaty and nervous and anxious on camera talking about how to make your streams better. I'm doing this because I believe that it's important for people to have these discussions and to talk about this stuff. I'm not doing this to have fun. This isn't fun.
What are you talking about? I'm having a blast.
Like I'm not going to like everybody that I give advice to. I'm not going to enjoy every time the websites need to be updated or broken. You do the work that needs to be done in order to be successful.
Right.
And if you could approach streaming from that perspective of, you have to have a deeper motivation and a deeper reason to do the things that you're doing.
Makes sense.
Too many people want to make streaming about themselves and me and how I feel about what I'm doing. You're going to have a really hard time with viewers connecting to that, because then the entire stream hinges on your emotional state towards the thing. I woke up today feeling not so great. I haven't felt this like head funk out of it. Like I was beating myself up like crazy this morning. And like, that doesn't matter. That's not part of this. It's not, I don't know why I was in a head funk. I think I know why actually, but, if you make what you're doing on stream too much about how you feel about the game that you're playing, you're going to make everyone else connect to the game and not you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
You should be able to play a game that sucks forever on stream, because the deeper reason is the stream itself. The thing you're producing is more important than the thing that you're playing. Right? Like if you're making a YouTube channel and about bad microphones, do you see how there's a reason to make the YouTube videos? If your reason is I really want to play with good microphones, and that's it, you're only going to review good microphones, why not bad microphones, right? You see that? The
You need to
stream,
be able to compare it. Yeah.
the stream is different from the game. If you can put your energy in the stream, in the community around it, in all of that, it helps if you like the game, obviously. It helps if you enjoy what you're doing on stream. I'm not telling you to play bad things forever. That does help. But it's much easier to not get in that rut, in that funk, in that headspace where you're just sick and tired of what you're doing, when what you're doing is connecting with people and hanging out with people and making a stream first.
Right.
I don't know.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it goes down to that whole thing we were talking about where I was taking 2 to 4 hours before I was actually enjoying the game, or at least decently having fun and making it entertaining. Like,
If your stream, if you were focused on your stream, do you think that would help?
it might. I think. I mean, I usually tried to make my best of those first couple of hours. It just seemed like it was like just so long and drawn out, and it's that it cost the whole basically a whole stream, to set up for the next stream, and um, you know, I feel like it was just the cost benefit wasn't there,
Right.
and so
I don't know. I feel like you were making too much about what you were doing about the game and less and not enough in the other direction about hanging out with people and talking to people and getting to know people and
yeah,
because that time you could grind and do mindless whatever to set up for the next stream
hmm?
with time that is spent talking about whether the next game is going to be good or not. Let it die too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely like yeah, and like I said, I think it's going to be very curious to see how this next month plays out because I'm going to be basically playing it every day.
When
Um
does it come out?
the new one, I think I don't know if they put it. I think they said first quarter. Let me look at it. Let me see here. Do they have a uh, I don't think they've got a release date yet. I think it was first quarter though,
Okay.
2022.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
a lot of streamers they don't want to approach streaming this way. They just want to turn on their stream and fine, be a hobby streamer, right? Just
Right?
just be
Yeah.
just be a hobby streamer. Just turn on your stream and whoever shows up, shows up. Play whatever you want. Have a good time. If it works out, works out. Doesn't work out, doesn't work out. That's fine. But the problem is I find that most of those people, most of those streamers who try that, they still end up feeling defeated and like beat themselves up over the stream not working.
Yeah, it's true. Like it's kind of funny. Like you say it's a hobby, and I think they just lying to themselves. Like I come out and I tell people like this is like my secondary side hustle. I mean, it's not necessarily a hobby. I try to make money off my stream. I'm upfront about it. I'm doing this because I think I can make money eventually on it. But I'm also want to meet people. So and just to have a good time as well. But I don't I like to be upfront with people. I'm always brutally honest up front. And that sometimes can rub people the wrong way. But it's whatever. Like, you know?
Yeah, there's balancing the monetization of this whole thing is rough.
It, yeah. It is. It's rough, but like I said, I tell people, look, I'm doing this quasi serious. I don't like to say fully serious because if I was doing this fully serious, I would be doing YouTube videos, like you've said, and but there's the way my job entails. It requires a lot of mental strain, even after hours and stuff, because like there's stuff I have to do in the middle of the night and as well as during the day. So it's like I try to puzzle this in, and focus where I can focus and, have days that I stream that I'm definitely going to stream on, but then kind of work on stuff. But it turns out sometimes like I'd rather work on the stream when I'm at work. And then when I get home, all I want to do is I don't want to stream. I just want to go to bed, or I want to work on the stream, but I can't stream and work on the stream at the same time. So
yeah.
and that conflict always happens, and I just stream. And then that's why my stuff is in disarray and everything else. Like,
Yeah.
so time management is not my core. Like I've always said, man, if I could get to a place where I could just have someone tell me, okay, if you stream this game, you're gonna be good for a while.
Yeah.
Just stream it to the end. And if I had someone like doing that, man, I'd be so happy.
I don't
But-
think it's that simple. Even if you had
I
a
know.
person who thought that was that they
A
had that
thing.
answer, the answer would be wrong a lot. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It'd
I
be
kind
wrong
of
often.
yeah, and I understand that. And then that's like where I got to where I am right now. It's just like so, you know,
Just
I try to
like you
do
were wrong with Let It Die.
yeah.
It seemed like it was working.
I like I said, I had a good time. I will not fault it, you know. I just, you know, it was very difficult for me because there is an addiction, attachment as well. So it's it's like your League of Legends,
Gaming and
okay?
addiction? What are you talking about? No.
I mean, the game does have some addicting mechanics to it, and they can be fun. And that's part of where, like, some of this, like I said, we'd spin the win stuff. But
Let's talk about the time management thing.
yeah,
I think
definitely time management.
I think this is where a lot of people fall short as well, as they feel like they don't have the time to do the things that would help their stream grow. Like you said, you don't feel like you have the time to do YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about this earlier. I think on one of your casual Fridays before about just uploading stuff, recording and cutting it and stuff.
Well,
And
I mean, I think there's a way to just not do any editing at all to make YouTube. Just hit record while you're live, make the video while you're live. You don't have to edit it at all. I mean, you literally could just set up scenes in OBS to be the YouTube video. No editing required. Just record in OBS, upload to YouTube. That's the process.
that's the process.
It's the entire process.
All right. I'm going the whole gameplays, or do you think just like
no, 10 minutes,
Okay.
10-minute video that you make while you're live.
10-minute video?
You tell chat, I'm going to make a YouTube video right now. And that YouTube video is going to be about, because once it's on YouTube, you can also edit and trim like if there's like a too much of an ending or too long of an intro, you can trim that stuff before you publish it. Right in the YouTube editor. Takes no time at all. So you don't have to put it in another program or do anything. And most of the time, if you do it right, you can be like, okay, chat, I'm going to make a YouTube video right now. I need to make a YouTube video for this week, so I'm going to make a YouTube video right now. And so you go to this, you create like a scene that says like incoming or starting or whatever. You say like your YouTube channel. You hit record. You go over to your cam and you say, what's up? Welcome back to the Sunny Machine on YouTube. Today I'm going to tell you guys about this beautiful thing called Korean dramas. I've been watching so many Korean dramas, it's insane. My favorite Korean dramas recently keep bouncing back and forth between these different Korean dramas. You wouldn't believe how good these Korean dramas are. Let's get into it. Korean drama number 1, Goblin. Why is it so good? You do this for 10 minutes. It'd be better if you had like bullet point notes or something to help you guide your thought process through the video. And you say, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. And then you go to your ending scene, and you hit stop recording. And that's it. That's the video. 10 to 12 minutes of your stream. That's nothing. There's really no excuse. There isn't.
You got me there. That's
You need a plan. That's the hard part.
that's the hard part.
Time is not what you're lacking.
Yeah.
It's not.
Organization.
That's the lack. That's where you're lacking. But the good news is, once you figure out a system and you organize that system, then you've solved the problem and you can just totally move on. And you can just incorporate it into what you're doing, and you can just go. And it works.
Just run with it.
It doesn't. You don't have to edit out all your ums and your mistakes and all that stuff. What matters is you're putting videos on YouTube, so that things can get picked up by that algorithm, and that's it. That's what matters. It helps if you have like some communities where there's more of an invitation for content. Like, I'm not going to get thousands of views right away on retro content videos, but I can get hundreds right away. That's a lot. I put up entire videos of original music that I wrote and recorded in one take, me just in front of a camera singing and playing guitar. 3 views. I record footage of my Dreamcast going to my capture card. Nothing else, just footage. That's it. Hundreds of views.
Hundreds of views.
Yeah. So it can help if there's like, especially if it's stuff people are kind of searching right now. Like if it's obviously in the retro community, I would know because I'm doing my research there to figure that stuff out. But there's plenty of space for other stuff. If you're whatever you're kind of into, if you're not into anything, go get into something. Being an interesting person helps a lot.
Being an interesting person. Dang, you just cut me deep, man. I'm not that interesting. He went for the blood. He just went for the blood.
Why are you not interesting? What's your problem?
No. I'm just an old half-bald man that sits in front of the
I'm older than
gamers.
you are. What are you talking about?
I know. It doesn't work here. Works everywhere else. It just doesn't work here.
Don't be an interesting person. Be a person with interests. Yeah, that's kind of the
There
same
you
thing.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And have opinions on that stuff. That helps a lot. I know so many people who they'll watch something and you'll be like, "Did you like it?" And they'll be like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
What did you like about it? It was good.
It was very good.
What is this? Family dinner? How was your day? Fine.
Fine. Yes.
I'm not really in the mood to chat with my family. I'm sorry.
Sorry, you guys. Yeah.
I'm not really in the mood to talk to anybody. I could do an entire YouTube. I have too many interests. I could do I need like multiple channels for everything. So
That's how YouTube works, right? Like once they
it is better. Focus fire.
Focus fire. They loop you up.
It's much better. You don't want to have one YouTube channel that is spread too thin. Like if I'm going to have a YouTube channel centered around music, it needs to be just that. I can't do my retro gaming content and my music. I don't really care about the music in that on YouTube. So I slapped them on the same channel, but I put them in a different playlist, but it doesn't matter to me. It's not I did that way before I started the retro content anyway. So what matters is that you focus fire in your content, your regular releases of what you're doing for YouTube. And that will have an impact on you as a creator. And if you're doing it on stream, then you're going to have crossover. You know, if you're making your videos while you're live, you're going to have crossover. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
1 viewer is a lot to people. If it's 1 viewer a month, then you got 12 new viewers. If you keep doing that for 2 years, you're going to have 30 viewers in 3 years. And then with 30 viewers, you can do a lot on Twitch. You can go grow your stream with those 30 viewers. So
Yeah.
And it's not going to just be a rate of 1 new viewer a month. If you're doing it right, you're going to get more viewers than that.
It should be exponential eventually.
Yes.
That's how that works.
And then you hire an editor and you tell them to go get footage of whatever you need, B-roll, and you record yourself talking in front of the camera. You send it to your editor. You can do that live on Twitch too. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't. Don't make a big thing. You don't have to overproduce everything. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have to be crazy edited. I mean, it can help to have like a template in an editor where you just drag your footage in and it's got your intro and your outro, and then you can like cut something out if you need to, or put some text in if you want. So that now that would be like a growth phase. Like you want to up your game a little bit for YouTube.
Right.
So, but I don't know. I don't see. Every streamer has a just chatting section of their stream, or a section where they can take 10 to 15 minutes to record a video for YouTube. Yeah, and doing it during your channel introduction is even better. Because then it doesn't matter. While people are trickling into your stream, that's the YouTube video. Or you could be like this channel, the content on this channel is all kind of geared towards being moved to YouTube anyway. So I just take the entire stream, trim it a little bit, take the intro out, and we're good. Just slap it on YouTube. That makes life so easy. What you need to do is find easy ways to do the stuff that you need to do.
Right.
That's the trick. That's the real trick.
The secret, the magic bullet. The magic bullet there.
Because you don't want to start YouTube too late. Just like you don't want to start Twitter too late or whatever it is. Or Twitch too late. It's all just one thing. You're making content.
Yeah, it's true.
I think the thing you could be late on is TikTok. That's it. That's the only exception.
Yeah.
I think you could never do TikTok and be fine.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, TikTok. I've heard some things about TikTok, man. They punish you if you don't put out a video a day, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty rough. I would not want to start that little game.
Their algorithm is nuts.
But yeah.
I do think YouTube is incredibly important. Not to grow Twitch, but
no, just to grow yourself in general.
Yeah, for you, the creator. I think it's important. It gives you another outlet. It gives you a place to communicate with more people, to connect with people, to to become more well known. This is all about being known. And if you didn't get recruited by YG, then who's going to help you become well known? Just you. That's it.
Yep.
Sorry, more.
I agree.
And the interest thing is one of the more important things, I think. Everybody needs to make sure that they have some sort of interests outside of the one thing that they're doing on stream, which is playing whatever game you're playing. It's like you almost have to consume a ton of other media, right, in this industry in order to stay kind of relevant. Do you think that's true?
Oh, yeah, I think, you've definitely got it. Because one, you need conversation bullet points to begin with to stream, because you're going to have those lulls in chat. So, yeah, you do have to be a jack of all trades, and you have to be dabbling in something other than streaming. Because if all you talk about on your stream is about streaming, then you're just going to end up a stream coach.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I thought about becoming a stream coach.
I'm trying to destroy that industry with this.
Yeah.
Speaking of stream coaches, the last IQ podcast kind of dug into that stuff. So if you guys are interested in that topic, go check out episode 13 of the IQ podcast.
Surprised you didn't pick up a huge dislike ratio on that.
That's, the IQ YouTube channel isn't really being browsed. Not yet.
Not yet.
It will be.
Not yet. It's getting
the
there.
Q2U video that I made did get a lot of traction, a lot of views. It's almost 1,000 now, which is not bad for a couple months.
That's good. It's better than more than 95% of my videos.
But the rest of them all have like 10 views. So yeah, that's okay.
I think
the videos are evergreen and they are helpful. So they'll get picked up eventually at some point for some reason or another.
Yeah, I mean YouTube's algorithm throws me 3-year-old videos all the time and 5-year-old videos. It's like, Here, you want this in your life.
Mm-hmm. True.
So, don't know what wonderful engineering that they put in on there, but yeah, it's definitely.
They're always tweaking it too. So
yeah,
something that's irrelevant right now becomes relevant very randomly.
Very quickly.
Yeah. Or if it's another creator makes a video in the same vein of something you've already made. There it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of my older Let It Die videos on YouTube actually get more traction.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere, and then like I've gotten like 3 new subs in the last couple of months. Slow the frick down, YouTube. Slow
Wow.
down.
Wow.
Slow. I can't keep up with this pace. Like
Time management is important, and I don't see any streamer at this point. You're really just doing yourself a disservice if you don't schedule and plan properly for streaming, for being a streamer. And at some point, you're going to have to do that anyway if you become successful. So you might as well start. In my opinion, it's better to start.
start right.
Yeah.
That way you don't get in a rut and be in a wrong rut.
Well, what's going to happen is some kind of company is going to come to you and be like, hey, we'd like to do a sponsored stream or something. And they're going to be like, what day of the week do you typically have the most viewers? And you're going to be like,
Never.
Sully Gnome. Let's see. Yeah, you don't want to be in that position.
No.
You want to be like, okay, well, Mondays I stream this, and Tuesdays I stream this, and I almost never see the people that I see that have the most success in this industry and growth are always highly organized. And you can tell because you look at their rooms, you look at their stream setup, they have a schedule, they have a plan, all of that.
Man with the plan.
You're just leaving it up to luck otherwise.
Well, then I can blame it on luck.
Yeah, but, then you're just going to be frustrated. It's also important to give things enough time, right? To work.
True.
Like if your plan is to become the influence in a space in a game, and that game is pretty well seeded for you to have growth. Okay, well let's do it this way. Let's talk about it this way. This is also actionable advice. So how do I want to say this? Let's talk about picking a community to do this with, right? It's not a good idea to do this in a space that's incredibly crowded already. If you don't have major connections to the people on the top row already, it's not a good idea to try to do this in like Fortnite, Apex, anything that you're not naturally going to get into the first few rows of the category that you're streaming in. The flip side to that is you don't want to choose a game that no one is streaming and no one is watching, right?
It's usually a bad idea to do that. Yes.
There's a couple of exceptions. There's exceptions to these, but the way you want to kind of generally think about it, if you're just like, what do I stream? What do I go stream so I can grow my stream? You want to go to the browse page on Twitch, and you kind of want to look around the times when you would be streaming. And even when you're not, it's a good idea just to kind of get a gauge of where things are at. And you want to scroll down to somewhere between the lowest viewership you want to look at is maybe 200 viewers. 200 viewers is still a lot. If you had all 200 of those people watching you, that's a lot of viewers for you, right?
Yeah.
So 200 viewers is the low end. And you want to make sure that it's not like 200 streamers or 100 streamers with 2 viewers, right?
Right.
You want maybe 3 rows max, 3 or 4 sometimes.
You definitely want a distribution. of
a curve,
a curve.
right? Like For Honor is a good game for this, although Northern Rush, he figured this out without me even talking to him about it. Like he I don't know if he did it on purpose, but he just did it. He knows what he's doing without even knowing what he's doing. I think I need to get him on here so we can talk.
He
to
just
him
loves
about
the game.
it.
Yeah, you know.
He figured out how to do this: host tournaments, get involved with the community, be a person of authority in the community. When he streams, he can get over 100 viewers. The top streamer right now in the category only has 50 viewers. Why does he get over 100 viewers? Because the other 3 streamers with 20 viewers have rated him. Right?
Right. No, yeah.
So all the viewers are starting to condense into the one person.
The one person. That's exactly what happened with Let It Die with me.
The category For Honor.
The category collapses.
Yeah, it does. It can collapse, and you want it to collapse down on
That's
you.
on you.
Yeah, yeah. So that the top streamer has 50 viewers, and then the next streamer is 30, and the next streamer is 20. When they're all done, they all those viewers kind of migrate over to you. So
right.
300. The For Honor has 378 viewers right now, and it has a lot more streamers. You can discount anybody who has 0, maybe even
0
2,
and 1. Yeah.
unless you're at 2 viewers. Then you may not want to. You're gonna have to really work hard, and it's gonna take you a little while. The way you're gonna grow your stream is typically through other mechanisms of hanging out in other streamers' chats and getting seated in the community, letting people see who you are, let people be a reminder of you. Then maybe you get a raid, and then you'll start to bump yourself up the category. So ideally, if you need to be committed. Like For Honor is a place you can be committed to do this kind of strategy in.
Absolutely. Because they got content flowing in, and they got, it seems like it's a pretty somewhat active,
Yeah,
and an active and dedicated fan base in a particular game can be extremely helpful.
we've got Resident Evils, we've got God of War. There's Left 4 Dead 2. For some reason, is a great game to do this with, even still today. Cyberpunk has some volatility, but is possible. Dragon Fighter Z, Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
What viewership we looking at? Because I just got this thing.
Between
pulled up.
the low end is 200. The high end is, I would say, probably 1,000 to 2,000, that range. 1,000, you're safer. And, unless there's like a massive streamer in that category that's always getting like 1,000 viewers and the other 1,000 are spread out between like 15 other streamers, then that would be a good one to look at. So,
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of these games.
and then you have to ask yourself the question, how do I become an authority in this space? What do I do to make this stream, to make me the streamer, the well-known person? The easy way is speedrunner or challenge runner.
Right.
But you have to have the desire to be that kind
Yeah.
of streamer.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it faults off. Like, I know we talked about me playing Dread. I got a lot of memes out of that stream, and I enjoyed playing Dread, but I knew that was not for my stream. That was for me. Like, I was like, I'm gonna play this game, and it just happens to be on stream, boys. Like, you're here for the ride.
How many viewers is Metroid Dread even getting right now? I don't know.
Oats hasn't started yet, so it's probably in the 500, 600 range. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, it is 562. Yeah. So it might be okay. There's
Yeah,
probably
but
a lot more streamers, but you could still. There's room here. There's plenty of room here.
There's room, absolutely, to play that game and establish yourself. I mean, YouTube's
Speed running
very
for sure.
speed running, but I mean, you're going against people that
Doesn't matter. You just have to be the authority. You don't have to be good at the speed running. You just have to organize the speed running and the tournaments and the get the other bigger streamers in the category involved with what you're doing. Establish yourself as. You don't have to be the authority. You want to be an authority.
And authority. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that would help. Yeah, definitely. Doing stuff in here. And Dread's a pretty decent category. I met some pretty cool people in
Valheim,
the
Super Metroid, Deep Rock Galactic. I mean, Pokemon. There's a lot.
oh,
There's a
no
lot down
thanks.
here. People are like, I don't. There's nothing I can stream to grow. I don't like any of these games. I'm like, maybe you don't like games. Like maybe you
Maybe
just,
you don't.
yeah. If you don't like
Wait,
games, you're gonna be. Why do you want to be a streamer? Like,
what about Tiny Tina's? That just came out, didn't it? And that's only got so. Why is that got so little fanfare?
a lot of games will come out and be down here. A lot of them. But that's
I,
okay. That gives you room to capitalize on the community. Get to
yeah,
know,
I'm just curious as far as
grounded. You know,
yeah, it gets you grounded into something.
Darkest
Well,
Dungeon is down here.
yeah,
Darkest
Darkest
Dungeon
Dungeon.
is 337 viewers.
Yeah, this guy's moved on to Darkest Dungeon too. But
True. Doom Eternal is
uh,
down here. Resident Evils, a lot of the Resident Evils are down here.
most your Souls games as well.
Yeah,
So
Neo,
I saw
Sekiro.
Neo in here. Sekiro. Oh man, Spyro the Dragon. Get that done. Maybe. That's at the lower end though. It's 300.
Near Automa,
Those are good games.
Vermintide. Yeah, it's important to do your research. That's for sure. Um, and
Which science, baby?
figure out where you want to go make this work. So, I don't know, dude. I think at this point we're kind of beating a dead horse, but what a horrible analogy. I, I definitely think there's plenty of room on Twitch for new content and streamers to make a working strategy and be seated in as a streamer in a community. I just don't think it's as simple as turning your stream on and playing games anymore. I don't even
No,
know the
those
last
days
time that.
are.
When did that work? Was it like 2012
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, it was definitely a long time ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah, when capture cards were hard to get a hold
Rare.
of
Yeah.
or expensive, you know. So like, yeah, I don't think that you definitely need something to bring to the party. Um,
And if you don't feel like you're the kind of person that can handle that kind of pressure or be that kind of streamer, then it's time for you to reevaluate what you do want out of streaming, because there's no level of success as a content creator that you might be better off as a YouTuber. YouTubers have a lot more control over their success and their income and what they're doing. But streaming is so competitive.
well, yeah, because you're competing with every console on the planet that has built-in streaming capabilities, and I mean, you know, everybody's a streamer now, whether they want to or not. You know.
Yeah, and the viewers, the getting viewers while you're live is not that simple. It's not that
No,
easy.
it's not.
It's not as simple as putting your link in a bunch of discords and hoping everybody shows up.
Correct.
Think about your favorite streamers. What do they do? They're doing something. They're doing something.
You know, some of the bigger streamers that I do, they're somewhat active on Twitter, just, you know, tweeting the stuff that they like and retweeting stuff that they think is interesting, and then, you know, cutting out YouTube videos from their streams, and, you know, that's what I see. Some of the more successful ones that I communicate with.
What streamers do you think are doing it right?
Which streamers do I think are doing it right? Well, I've got a very short list. But I mean, one of my favorite streamers, I feel like he's got the old school mentality, but because he's so established in what he does and how, and he's been doing it for so long that it doesn't matter. But I mean, he tells people straight up in his stream, just play a game for 14 hours a day, good at it, and eventually you'll make a stream. And I kind of think, yeah, that would have worked a long time ago, but I don't think that's the right mentality anymore to do Twitch right.
I mean, I know people are doing that for years and they're not.
Exactly.
That didn't
It's
work.
dangerous. Yeah. Me and you've seen multiple people. I've seen multiple people just trash relationships and everything else, chasing it, and I don't think it's the right thing to do. But I mean, he puts out good YouTube videos. His YouTube gets really good traction. I don't think they're really all. He's got a video editor, so you know, I feel like he's one of the ones that's kind of doing it proper. I mean, obviously, he probably makes as much as I do or more per year, and he's streaming, so uh, so definitely he's doing it right.
What's
mean,
an
Jared-
ideal income for a streamer? What do you think is your minimum to live off?
For me,
of? Yeah.
to live off of,
Like if you were streaming
mean,
full time and it was paying all of your bills, what's that look like?
honestly, like to me, I would have to easily for to 70, $100,000 a year.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think 6 figures is probably
That no less.
ideal.
I mean, honestly, and that's the problem. Like, I have to balance that stuff, because I make decent money. I don't make great money where I do, but I honestly balance that with how much I actually work versus how much I get paid.
Well,
so,
yeah. Yeah,
so
I do that
but-
too.
yeah. But I mean, for me to be like, okay, game over. I can quit my job and do this full time. I need to easily clear 70 plus. It would be no less than that.
Yeah.
And think about how many subs that is, or like donations you would have to pull in weekly. It would be insane. Now, shout out to the 20-year-olds that don't need that, and they can live in their basement and not have expenses.
Yeah.
But that's just my life point. Like, that's why I'm kind of jealous of some of these 19 and 20-year-olds that are trying to. If some of these 19 and 20-year-olds actually catch off, they can set themselves up pretty good. I mean, some of the big streamers that I watch, they grew up on Twitch, literally. Like, and that's been their life. Like, they just decided to play video games after high school, and here they are. And I'm glad to see that, because that's really cool. But that's not my life space. I have expenses. I got to pay off an ex-wife. So, so I have requirements, so, but that's to be helpful and, for people, they need to figure that out.
This is why I'm advocating for more than just Twitch, because in order to make $70,000 to $100,000 a year as a streamer, that's a lot. And the sub count goes up and down like crazy. It's volatile. You'll get a ton of gifted subs one week, and then none the next month. Is half, and it's so unpredictable. And
what is that? 3,000 subs? 4,000 subs? Is that
I don't
roughly?
know. I haven't done the math.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, because I think I've done it, and I'm pretty sure it's 3K to 4K a month, and some of the bigger streamers I watch don't even hit that month. Like, I know that they are making more because obviously they got sponsorships, and that's where all this stuff comes in, right? Like, I always idealized that I would not worry about subs necessarily, but I would get a inflow of sponsored content that would be really interesting, and that would be a pretty good supplement to any kind of Twitch income would be coming in.
So Yeah, you need 40,000 a year, so 40,000 divided by 40,000 subs to get $100,000.
Yeah.
So that's 3,333 ish repeating threes,
Yes.
repeating. It's a bunch of threes.
Bunch of threes. Yeah, that's what I said.
So
3,000.
you need 3,334 basically subs to make $100,000 a year. 3,000 subs. That's
A month.
A month.
A month.
A month. Yeah.
I know, like I said, Oats and Goats, he gets like 600, 700 viewers. And he does get some massive sub bombs. So, and he will hit that 5K mark once in a while, but he averages probably 2.5, 2,500 subs a month. And he's like a number 1 Super Metroid player in the world. And so think about that, people. Like,
Yeah, he's not even making $100,000 off subs.
off subs. He's getting money. He's getting money
in other areas. But this is what I mean. If you feel like it's going to be difficult for you to be organized and have goals and talk to companies,
yeah,
you're not going to fill in the gap, the monetary gap, with subs. It's very unlikely for you to have enough subs to survive and make enough money as a streamer. But it is possible to hustle enough as a streamer with other avenues. YouTube channel can help. A semi-successful YouTube channel can get you the rest of the way there easily. Affiliate links from products can get you. You have to fill in the gaps with all these extra things. A Patreon, the tips and the bit, the Twitch income is one aspect, and then, so let's say you make $50,000 off of Twitch with your 200 viewers. So you finally get to 200 viewers. You're only making maybe $50,000 off of Twitch a year. So where does that other $50,000 come from? Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And like I said, I really find it funny people like getting upset about like sponsored content. I mean, some of the best stuff that, some of those sponsors, I mean, it's all about the agreement or whatever. But I mean, I had fun with Raid Shadow Legends. I don't care. If anybody gets offered that, they take it. It should. It's free. It's meme-tastic. You can have a good time with it.
Make a few $100.
But even the sponsored content that I did for Gung Ho was some of the best paying content I'd ever done in my life. Like, when I told Jared about it, like, I was like, dude, these guys are literally giving me X dollars to play their game again on PC. Like, that was a good feeling. That's why I said I feel like I had a successful stream. Because the devs of a game that I love to death literally bought me a PC just so I would play it again on PC.
There you go.
Plus more.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous the amount of money that I got made for as little as I put in. Like, it rivaled what I make at my job as a professional with 20 years experience. So let me just put that out there. Like,
I think too many people. I hate to say it, but so many streamers out there that need reality check big time.
Yeah, this whole negative aspect on paid content is kind of just weird to me, and I understand it's still a cultural problem with Twitch because they assume paid content equals paid opinions, but that's not necessarily true.
Sometimes it is, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be. But
it is bad. That is bad. But I'm saying if they're saying here we're gonna give you X dollars to play this for X amount of time, and you need to do this to get this, and it's all clear cut, and they're not telling you what you have to do this, you have to say this, then I think it's fair game.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, shout out to Polarium, honestly, because they support bottom tier streamers all the time, all the time, and the money that they give for those low viewer counts is game changer. It's game changing. Like, when I did it, it was like $800 or $600. Think about that. You're a 5-viewer Andy, and you're getting $600 for playing games to play their game for a couple hours. Think about that. Like, that rivals what I make in my professional job that I have a degree in. Like, so, and I don't knock Raid Shadow Legends. They don't try to make you say anything bad. And I honestly wish more developers would be kind of like that and go after, throw maybe smaller amounts to smaller streamers and do that, because Plarium is different. It's a numbers game. It's ran by a casino. They're not screwing around. They know if they throw X amount of dollars at X amount of viewers, they're going to retain X amount. Like, they've got their math. They know what they're doing. But if more developers would do that, it wouldn't have such a negative feelings towards it, because Raid does have a bad rap. It does.
It's because they sponsored everything under the
Everything.
sun.
Yeah, but see, it's to them, it's a casino company, and that's all it is to them is numbers. They know. And sadly, that's what happened with Raid. I mean, it's not a terrible game. I mean, it's got some egregious, monetary things, but nowadays, let's just talk about which games don't have that.
Yeah.
Like
Metroid Dread. Which had its own, to be honest. The special edition.
The special edition.
The amiibos.
The amiibos, everything else.
Getting that stuff in retail is insanely difficult.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish more developers would do that. Like,
I agree.
Not necessarily be like Plarium, but, maybe fund the smaller Twitch stuff, because
you're setting yourself up for success when you are seeking out these kinds of things and you have the right attitude from the beginning. If you don't go after, if you don't see yourself do it, like, there's too many streamers that they just want to be like, I just want to play games and I just want to have fun and I want to have a successful stream. And it's like,
well, good luck, because that's not going to happen. You're going to have to do... Honestly, I just don't see him making it without doing some form of sponsored
I've
content.
never seen any one of those people make it.
It's just impossible. Because it's just too big of a game changer. Like I said, imagine what a $600 for a 5-viewer person would be. That's easily a mic and a mixer and possibly a whatever cables or whatever they're gonna need.
Oh, that's yeah.
Like,
you could buy my whole entire soundboard and all the sound cards.
Yeah,
and this
for that for a 2-hour stream. For a 2-hour stream, like
yeah, easily.
It was like, so it's yeah. I just wish I wish there's more opportunities like that. Besides Raid,
I find a lot of streamers will have this attitude where it's just super unrealistic, because like any job is going to have something you don't like.
Right.
Any job ever. There's going to be some aspect of some part of your job that is just like, oh, this is so stupid. Like,
yeah.
It's a trade-off. If you want to trade the corporate environment and the steady paycheck for the successful streaming career, part of that is being organized and having plan and being set up, doing YouTube videos. Like, if you don't have time to do the content creation thing fully, you don't have time to be a streamer, right?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, unless you're whimsical about it and don't care, which then I don't understand why you would bother to
just be a
why would
hobbyist.
you stream in the first place. Yeah.
It's fine. Get to 10 to 15 viewers hanging out, doing your thing, and just that's good enough. And just live with that. I find that most of these people don't want that, and a lot of them can't even get to that 15 viewer mark. If you can't get to 15 viewers on your own, just streaming, you have a lot of work to do.
Dude, you've got yeah.
I've seen some people, man, they just keep streaming. They just 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. No viewers.
I could tell you some stories about stuff that I've had to deal with. Being a single category streamer for so long, it just, I've actually been blamed for people's low viewership. Like,
Really?
they straight up said, yeah, I got toxic messages on PSN and stop streaming with the other guy because you're taking all the viewers. Like, there was people legitimately sending out like threats to me and the other top streamer for the longest time. Like,
That's weird.
you're taking our viewers.
That is so
Yes, I'm the reason you're a 5-viewer Andy. Yes.
I mean, the biggest reason that I've found for streamers to not be doing well is honestly, they're boring.
Yeah, they're probably just turning the game on and they hit stream.
It's
Like they're trying to play the lottery with scratch-off tickets, I guess. I don't know.
there's streamers even on IQ, and I'll go visit their channel, and I'm like, I haven't really checked in like on their content in a while. It's been a while since I watched, and I'm like, well, how come? But they've been streaming for like a year now in IQ. Why are they still at the same viewership? Why are they
I feel
still? And then I unmute their stream and I watch for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, you're boring.
Well, you
Okay.
don't have to name call me out. I thought we were on a better relationship
You are
than that.
so boring. I'm watching somebody play a game, and the entire scape of the content is them running around in the game, figuring out where to go, character running around the screen, no talking, just like, oh, do I need to go up here? Huh. Maybe it was back the other way.
Not that bad, Sonny.
I don't want to fight this guy. Oh. Oh, I think it's here. Like 10 minutes of this. I'm just like, I know no one's talking to you in the chat about anything. I know that you're just playing a video game, but that's the problem. That's the problem with your stream right now. You're just playing a video game.
Oh my god.
Like, you're not. And they have a brand. They've got starting soon screen. They've got the edited BRB clips. And it's just like not enough. You can do all that stuff. You can have a great microphone. You can have a great camera, all that stuff. It's just not enough. You gotta, man. You have to do more than just. I don't know.
Are you sure?
Are you there's like it's hard because I want to say like you have to be like entertaining, and you have to be having fun and maybe be funny or something.
You mean you have to have fun playing the game that you're playing?
I
And you
mean,
have to be somewhat entertaining.
you don't
with
even have
it.
to have fun playing the game that you're playing. You just have to be like more. There has to be more going
Interactive.
on. I don't know how to teach this or talk about it right.
I know when I play games that when I first play it, and it's hard for me. I will admit, me playing a game that I haven't played before is hard to stream, because I want to be able to play the game and interact, and it requires a lot more of my brain capacity to play a game that I haven't played and interact with chat.
I
And
think
that's why I like let it die, because I didn't have to think about that game at all.
I think there is room for that kind of stream and that kind of content. But it still requires a proper like presence and energy and presentation. You know?
Yeah.
I
You
don't know.
definitely have to cut it up a little bit more. I think when like I said, when I play it, I try to break up lulls by doing like looking at walls or looking at textures and bringing up funny stuff as I go along. Like, that's just me attempting to bring some of the chat into it. Because otherwise, yeah, you're just playing a video game with a friend or with the chat or whatever.
Even worse, on the other end, I've seen people who are like, they know they're supposed to be entertaining, and it's just so uncomfortable, like not working. Like the jokes that they're saying are like really not funny, and it's really awkward. It's really awkward.
Awkward.
And,
I try to be funny. I'm sorry, Sonny. You don't need to personally attack me. You can just send me DMs. It's okay.
you laugh at your own jokes a lot, but so do
I
I.
do.
So do I. I don't joke as much these days as I used to since I got sick. I don't have the energy to be funny.
No, it does require a lot.
Yeah. But
Does
man,
require a
I
lot.
just get bored. I'm bored out of my mind, and I don't know how to help these people. I want to tell people how not to be boring, but I don't know if that's even something you can teach or learn. It's like if you don't have the personality for this already, and other people will try to fill it in with like frustration or anger, or
Yeah, I don't like the fake rage. Like, I've never really. I mean, there's people that like that shit, the fake rage stuff and the super high rage stuff. I mean, I get upset, but it's not fake. Like, I'm legitimately upset.
yeah, that's how I used to be too. I would get upset, but it wasn't fake.
I mean, and the thing is like with Let It Die, we bring that back up, is it when I would die, because if people don't know, Let It Die, when you die, it actually costs you money. Like it's supposed to be the theme of an arcade game because you're playing a game within a game, and so when you die, it requires their premium currency, and they do give out the premium currency pretty regularly. So it's not like, oh man, you got to be dumping money into it. But if you want to continue on with what you're doing, you do have to pay. Otherwise, it restarts the whole run. And so, yeah. So yeah, it gets frustrating. Like,
Do you think the battle
something
royale is going to be like that? Probably not.
I don't think so. If they do, I think the big money, because they've already said they're having a battle pass, so I think they're going to be pushing the battle pass and cosmetics.
Yeah, because that's where that's
That's
where the
where
current
that's at.
funding is like
Yeah.
gone. It's gone. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a good way to
Yeah.
monetize a game. I think so.
It really is. Like I gotta stay the frick out of COD because they are always grabbing skins that I want.
That's the business model. I was the same way with Apex, even Fortnite. Like, I'd go and be like, dang it, I'm gonna buy the battle pass. It's only $7, whatever it is. It's like
Yeah.
they get you.
I love it. And then what they do is like the really tricky thing. I think Fortnite does this too. Is they give you enough of the currency inside the battle pass, so technically you don't have to buy the battle pass the next time.
You only need to spend like $3 or something. Yeah.
So, yeah. So it binds you to grinding out this battle pass, and then it basically gets you to play the game every day.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then hopefully once in a while buy like a $20 skin or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm fine with
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Hey,
I
do
mean,
it, man. It is. People have freedom.
Streamers should come up with their own battle pass.
Damn straight, man. I'm gonna use streamer.bot. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna come up with my own battle pass system.
That's right. Well, I think we covered a lot of stuff. I don't really want to take up too much of your time, and we don't have anybody else joining us in voice, so I think we can pretty much call it. But do you feel like you're in a pretty good place to approach?
I feel like it.
What you need to do?
Yeah, I've already reached out to Troy. I DM'd him while you were talking and stuff. So
Good. No time like the present. Get that shit
no
out there.
time like the present. I'm gonna talk to you anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Like I know I'm gonna be like, all right, man, what am I gonna do here? Plus, you need to fix my camera every month, so.
So, Yeah, I want you to figure. I want you to be successful, but I also don't want you to, lose your success due to the game falling apart or whatever.
Yeah, I get that, and I like I said, I always appreciate you guys in IQ and everything.
Uh,
So
it's my pleasure. I want you to be successful. I want things to work. That's what I want for everybody. I want them to. There's no. Unfortunately, I'm not the person with the good news. Typically, I'm the
Typically
person
not.
with all the bad news, which is you need to do this. You need to do like here's all the work you're gonna have to do.
Here's all the work.
It's not.
I mean,
I think people want an answer that's not like just just go play this game, which is not new work or something. But it's never that simple.
anything worth chasing usually isn't, right? Because if it was that simple, then everybody would do it.
Correct.
Isn't that how it works?
And everybody is trying to do it that way, which is why there's so many no 2 viewer Andys out there, right?
Right? No, I agree. I agree.
I just wish people would reassess more often if they would just look and be like, okay, nobody's watching this. Like I don't even have 2 people, or it's me and my PlayStation are watching my stream.
Yeah, me and my phone. Now, it's funny because I watch my VODs, and people were like, "Why would you watch your VODs?" And I was like, "I don't know. I kind of like watching them to see how I sound and
Yeah.
everything. Like before I had a
Super
mixing
important.
board, that's the only way to freaking look at my stuff."
And it's still
Like-
important to do that. I check
Yeah.
everything. Everything.
Yeah,
I'll-
I check my VODs every once in a while as well. I don't do as much as I should because I just, like I said, I'm getting to the point where I choices work on the stream or stream. So,
It can be a bad
Always-
idea to sacrifice the improvements of your stream for just being live, though.
yeah, and I'm getting to the point where I want to
You stream for
dedicate
4
a-
hours, make it 3, and work on it for an hour.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying is I'm getting ready to take a day off and I don't want to take it down too much further, but kind of want to take it down to where until I get everything fixed the way I want it and get a better workflow and stuff like that, I almost want to. But I don't know. I'll check it out, try it out, see.
All right. Well,
But-
you have a good plan, I think. I mean, you have somewhat of a plan. Before you
I-
jumped in here, you had no plan. So
Yeah, no, I've got it. Yeah, I appreciate all the advice, man. It means a lot.
really, it's just food for thought. You can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own success. So try
True.
to make good decisions and try to have a good plan, and try to do your best. The hardest thing for you is going to be, even if Let It Die is successful, is going to be trying to transition those viewers
Transition.
to the other variety content. You're going to have to be very careful, very smart, and very strategic about it, and you're going to have to not shut up about your Friday or whatever your variety day you choose.
Variety day is, yeah.
And you're going to have to make it seem like it's a big deal, and make it seem like it's important, and make it important if you can. Like figure out other ways to make it important.
Absolutely.
Whether it's through give away a piece of merch, or something more attached to your community that only people in your community would be interested in, so that give them a reason to be there. Try to give them a reason to be there that's beyond like obtaining an object. Like a signed shirt is bigger deal to your community than just a shirt, right?
Absolutely. But hey, I do have to go though. So.
Anyway, well that's it. Anyway, so we're gonna wrap
All
up
right.
here.
All right, I'll see you later, Sonny.
Thanks, Over. Well, I'll
Yep.
talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Yep.
All right, friends. Thank you guys for lurking, hanging out, joining in the chat. I appreciate everybody. I hope everybody is doing well with their streams. I hope this kind of content is helpful for you, and that you guys can think about what you can do to grow your streams. As always, the podcast is on Wednesdays. The next thing that's happening, there'll be a YouTube video on Monday. I have a list. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to make on Monday, but Check out the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube and you found this kind of conversation and discussion helpful, subscribe, like, leave a comment, do all that business. And if you are interested, you did join at the end. If you are interested in joining our community, you can apply at infinitequality.live. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. And appreciate you guys.